Hi guys, welcome to Triple N yet again. Today, as you can see, again we are sharing another recipe. Anytime you see me in this section, just know that there's a recipe that is coming your way. You guys should pray for me so that I get a bigger kitchen that has better countertops, that my countertop is not cluttered. But nonetheless, I just want to take you through how to make a simple carrot cake recipe. I will take you through the ingredients that I have, but before that, as always, if you're baking, remember to always put your oven to heat up so that by the time you're done baking, then your oven is ready for use. I'll put it to heat up, it's on 10 minutes for about 180 degrees. So again, depending on the kind of cooker that you're using, you can adjust the temperature accordingly. So I'll start with the ingredients that I have. I've grated 2 carrots. They're here. I have some dark chocolate chips. These ones I got from Chandarana. This thing was going for 238 shillings and I've used it for quite some time. It's actually almost over. I have salt, granulated sea salt. I have all-purpose flour. I normally use the ex chapati all-purpose flour, but if you can get cake flour, the better. If you do not have cake flour and you wish to use cake flour, you can use 2 cups all-purpose flour and 1 cup of corn flour. I have sugar here. I have my baking powder that I'm going to add to my all-purpose flour. I have 3 eggs which are at room temperature. I have half a cup of vegetable oil that I'm also going to use as part of the ingredients. I have milk that is Brookside milk that I'm also going to use alongside this one. So I'll take you along with me, and as always guys, you know we don't miss out on this syrup. This is the caramel one, this is the golden one. You can even see it as a cake on it. So I like combining the two of them. They taste amazing when used together. If you haven't watched my previous videos, this ones I got from the supermarket. I think this one was going for 100 and something. This one was going for 465. So you can get it at any supermarket. Yeah. Then in terms of the utensils that I'm going to use, I have this sieve over here, a big one. I have the baking bowl. I have my measuring cup, this and that. I have my muffin tray, and I also have my cake tray. So the reason why I have 2 of them, I'm going to make enough butter that can make a cake and that can also do muffins at the same time. I don't have bigger tins because I just normally bake like for home use. Hence, that's why my tins are smaller. Yeah. Then what else? I have this clear tin here, which I am going to use to mix all the liquid ingredients. So we can start. I'll start by measuring my flour here. As I said, I'll begin with my all-purpose flour. I'm going to put 3 cups using this. So the secret with the cake, whatever the measuring jar that you decide to use, if you use a teacup, use a teacup for all the measurements. If you use these measuring cups, use these measuring cups for all the measurements, so that then you don't have issues with how your ingredients mix up. So I'll go with this, the all-purpose flour. I'll do 3 cups. So I'll put 2 first because I have to sift. So I'll just take a spoon. But if you have something bigger, I think the better. If you can get cake flour, the better, because then you don't have to go through this process. So you see the way it's coming down, so that I want it very fine. This is how your flour is supposed to look like. It's much finer all the way, and that is why we sieve, so that also the cake is very aerated. And also if you want a spongy cake, if you haven't watched my previous videos where I was plugging these jars, I got them from Rico Jars. They are on IG. You can actually head there and purchase the sieve. So once I do that, I'll go in and put my baking powder. So I'll put 3.5 tablespoons of baking powder. So here, I normally put a full spoonful. Then I spread it out, like that, and a half. So after doing that, I'll just mix up the flour just to make sure that the baking powder is properly mixed. So just make sure you mix thoroughly so that the baking powder is evenly distributed on the flour. So after I have done that, I'll go in with my sugar. I'll use half of this because carrots already have like lots of sugar, so you don't want your cake being too sweet. So here, this is what I have. So I'll go in with that. Then I'll put a pinch of salt. Just like that. Then I'll mix it up. So this is how my mixture looks like. So that is for the dry ingredients. Then now I'll come to the wet ingredients on this other side. I'll have my eggs. So I'll do mix one at a time. Your eggs are supposed to be at room temperature, so that they're fluffy. You can use a round bowl for ease of mixing. So I'll add to the next one. Then I'll do the third one. See, that is how it looks like. So just be sure to put one egg at a time. Let me rinse my hands. So I have half a cup of vegetable oil. I've added it to the mixture that has the eggs. Then I'll just make sure that I thoroughly mix. So this is how it looks like. Then I'll go in with my milk. Here, I'll do one cup first. There. Then I'll add another one. Okay. Then I'll mix it up. So you can see how it looks. So I've mixed up the eggs, the cooking oil, the vegetable oil, and milk. So I'll take a wooden stick like this, spatula. If you have a spatula, the better. I think I do have one, but I prefer to use the wooden stick. So if you have like this, the better. It's easier for mixing your butter. So I'll pour in little by little. Then you fold so that the butter does not overmix. Other people prefer to pour the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients, but I do it the other way around. So I add in more. And I mix it up slowly so that I don't overmix. You can see I'm having some thick consistency already. Then I'll pour in the remaining one. Here we go. So you just fold in slowly by slowly so that you don't spoil your butter until everything is properly mixed in. If you're using a mixer, just be careful so that you don't overmix your butter, because the moment you overmix your butter, it will not come out very nicely. So you can see how the consistency looks. So you just continue to fold in a bit more. There we go. Then I'll pour in the carrots that I had initially grated. You can make them smaller than this if you wish. Mix them up. So you can see how that looks like. sprinkle in a bit more. So you can see how nice the butter looks. It looks orange, it's really nice. Yeah. So this is how the carrot goes in. If you wish, you can still add more. If not, then you can leave it. And as I've said, you can grate with the smaller side of the grater if you want them to be very fine. Yeah. So this is how mine looks. I don't want to overmix it. So you're seeing I'm just stirring it slowly. So to this point, my butter is ready to go to the baking trays. So I'll just oil them, but you can use baking sheets. But for me, because I usually bake at home a lot, I just oil. I find it more economical, but you can get baking sheets in all the leading supermarkets. I actually need to get oil spray so that then it makes my work easier. But if you're using your hands, then you can just do it like this. You do this so that when you put the butter, it does not stick on the trays. You can pour a bit. This is just vegetable oil, the similar one that we had used to bake before. So just make sure you use like enough oil on the sides so that your cake doesn't stick. So here we go. Nice. Yeah, so I'll start pouring in my butter. So I'll start with the bigger bowl. So here, it's looking so nice. I spread it out. Add some more. So don't add so much to the top so that you give it room to raise. So the remaining butter is what I'll put in my cupcake tray. I'll check the spoon which I was using to mix and just use it to pour in like that. So if you also have the muffin papers, you can use so that they're underneath here so that you're not pouring the butter on the trays, but I don't have them, so I'm just pouring directly to the trays. So you do that. Also don't fill it up so much so that you give it space to rise. There you go. Nice. So I normally bake like this so that I make sure I don't have to bake twice, and so that to also be sure that all the butter is used up and nothing is going to waste. So as you can see, my bowl is almost clean because I'm wiping off everything and ensuring that everything goes to the oven and nothing goes to wastage. Okay, so this is how it looks. Nice. That is how my butter looks. It's ready for the oven. So I'll go in, put the cake. There we go. Make sure that the oven is not so hot so that your cake does not crack at the top and the crust does not come out so hard. There we go. Move them to the center. Close. Time them at 30 minutes at 180 degrees. Just a point to note, cupcakes cook faster than cake, but don't open the oven until you've seen that the cake has risen, otherwise it will sink. So yeah, so we'll keep checking. We'll check at 15 minutes, but then you check through here and not opening the oven. Yeah, so as we wait for that to cook, I'll just be cleaning up the surfaces and the countertops as we wait for the cake to get ready. I'd forgotten to put in the chocolate chips, so when you're doing that, please don't forget. Thankfully, my oven is not very hot, so the cake had not gotten any heat. So I'll just quickly sprinkle them a little, like that. I love me some chocolate, so that is why you're seeing I'm keen on ensuring that I have them. Yeah. So as I told you, this jar will probably last you for so long because you only use a small amount of this. By the way, if you want very nice cake decoration, especially for home use, I don't know for commercial, but for home use, you can get a lot of this from Chandarana. So I'm quickly returning my cake in the oven. There we go. There we go. Ready. So I'll clear up the surfaces, and then yeah, we'll check it out after a while. So we'll just check the cupcakes because as I told you, they take a shorter time to make. So here we go. I'll just pull this out. Oh, this looks really, really nice. Here are the cupcakes. They're ready. You see the chocolate that I put on top. So we'll let the cake cook for a bit. So there. So if you want to know if your cupcakes have properly cooked or even your cake, just always go in with a fork. You can choose to go in the middle. And if your fork comes out with crumbs or clear like mine, then your cake is ready or your muffins are ready. So I'll leave this out to cool. About 10 minutes later, after I removed the muffins, so I just want to go in and get out the cake. Whoa, this looks yummy, yummy, yummy. So you can see, this is how it looks like. Very nice in color. In the middle it's like this because I was poking it with a fork. Don't be like me, use a toothpick so that you don't create a volcano on your cake. So you can leave it here to cool before you're able to remove it from the tins. And you can actually have your rack, your oven rack outside, so that once you're able to remove from here after it has cooled for a while, then they can be on top here for some time before they completely cool off. I have not used any preservative because this is just for home use. So this is a good breakfast meal. It will take you about a maximum of 30 minutes to just whip up everything. So I like to make this over the weekends because that's when I'm usually home and that's when my family is usually at home. So yeah, as you can see, they look really amazing and I'm sure they taste as good. Yeah, so I'll be coming back in a few just to remove them from here, set them up on the rack, and let them cool. Yeah, so from here, just follow the rest of the steps. After they have cooled, as I've said, just put them on the rack. If you're wondering how you remove your sides, in case your sides are stuck, just go in with a knife, pole pole, like this. Just to make sure that nothing is stuck on the side. Or you can use a wet cloth on the sides. Like you put a cloth like this in water, then you wrap it below here. Yeah, so that it makes sure the cake has cooled vizuri before it was removed. But I like using the knife, like I go with it all around, just to make sure there is no cake on the side. Yeah, so after it's completely full, you'll just like flip it over, pole pole. Then if it's not coming out, just hit the surface below. And if you're feeling like there's anywhere that is stuck, again you go back with your knife and do the same. So for me, my cake has not cooled, so I do not want to mess it up by trying to remove it. I'll do the same for the cupcakes. I'll just go on the side and yeah, just to do that, just to be sure. Yep, like that, all the way. Yeah, then I will let them cool. If you also want, you can actually make them so that they cool overnight, so that in the morning you're just removing them from the rack.